Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. I've got 4 bands for you today, and it's a bit of a mixed bag. They've all got a kind of old school element to them in some way, whether it's the sound, whether it's the riffage or something like that. So I've clumped them together like that. But there's a bunch of different genres in there, heavy metal, post-black, and all sorts. So this first band we're going to check out, they've got a live performance for us. They call themselves Post-Black. Their band name, I think, is Agrypnie, is how you say it. And the track is De Tote Tract. Probably said both of those wrong, as I always do. As I say, nice live performance, so let's get it on. Sounds like a good recording. Nice high quality video as well. Cool. As I say, I've called today's video old school, not because the bands are all old school, but just because when I listened to them for a few seconds to see what they were, they struck me as having some old school edge or vibe to them. Like this kind of riffage, like the kind of guitar tone as well. Nice. This is a good recording. See, it's nice and wide and stereoed. Good waveform, so they must have recorded this. It's not the room sound, they must have put it through a DI. Yeah. Nice drumming. Dope. Good energy in the music, drummers mixing it up. There's a washiness to the guitars. Yeah. Dope. Yeah, these guys are definitely black as the night. Now, they call themselves post-black, which is kind of a bit of a wide term nowadays. Post-black bands can really sound like a lot of different sounds. And I think the kind of postness about this is a more washiness of the guitars. It's got a kind of nice tight distortion to it, but it's also got a wash. I don't know if they're using reverb or what on it, but it's not really punching through the mix. It's a bit more buried. Drumming's sick, and the drums sound really nice. You've got a nice raw recording of the drums. They sit well in the mix. There's a heavy vocal, sits well with the music as well. Brings in the blackness. Strong. Yeah, the drummer's working it out hard, putting a lot of energy into the music. To say the guitars are quite washy, and a lot of the pulse and everything is coming from the drums. Putting on a nice show as well. Got a good stage presence. They all look the part. Their instruments are cool. Dope. I wish I had more black metal on the channel, because I'm a big black metal guy, but black metal just generally don't release very many music videos, you know. They just put it up with the album sleeve, It's great music, but I don't really want to get into that on this show where we're just looking at an album sleeve, because look at us now. We're getting to watch a live performance. We can see these guys on stage. We can see them playing their instruments. We can see their instruments. We can see their stage presence. That's all a million times better than just staring at an album sleeve for 4 or 5 minutes. So unfortunately we do miss out on a lot of good music. A lot of music I still listen to. It's great, but we don't get to hear it on this show because they just put it out with the album sleeve. So fair play to these guys for doing a nice live recording with a video, high quality. Sounds dope. We get a good representation of the band and their live performance. Can't ask for better than that. Dope. These guys have moved the energy about a nice. We've had fast bits, we've had kind of medium speed bits. They broke it down, real down into some atmospheric stuff, and then pulled us back up into this nice, fast, high energy stuff. It's still got a wash to it from the guitars. Dope. Yeah. Crowd's loving it. Good crowd as well by looks of things. Nice and tightly packed in. They're not like that anymore. They got all the corpse paint and that as well. Yeah. Lot of hair. Sick drumming. Drummer's been tight. Working the blast beats. Mixing it up all over the cymbals. He's doing a great job. Dope. Enjoyed that a lot. Let's say, great to see a live performance that's not only recorded well so that we can hear the band very, very well, like you kind of would on an album, but still with that raw live sound, and you can still hear the crowd and everything as we did at the end there. So you can hear all the liveness of it, but it still sounds like it's been mixed and recorded well to where it's not just, like an iPhone recording. And nicely recorded with a bunch of, in terms of video, and a bunch of different camera angles and all of that stuff. Very, very nice. For black metal bands, underground black metal bands, that's rare. I don't see that very often. And I'm subscribed to pretty much every black metal channel there is on YouTube. I see all the uploads. And as I say, 99% of them are just the album sleeve uploaded, and that's it. That's all you get. So it's super nice when a band like this does a high quality live recording for us. Any band. Very, very nice. And the music was dope. I enjoyed the music very, very much. Post-black is one of my things. I like post-black a lot. As I say, post-black can sound like a whole bunch of different stuff. It can be very synth-orientated. It can have some singy parts in there even. As long as it brings in that blackened edge to it, it's pretty much post-black. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, very, very nice. Now this next band I must apologise to. I had to shuffle this band about. They've been in the queue for longer than they should have really, and because I didn't really have many kind of other similar sounds. We've had a lot of death and we've had a lot of hardcore and all of that kind of stuff, and well, none of these bands today sound like that. So I've had to kind of wait to put some other bands together with this band. This is the Rekkening, and Tracy, she's liking all my posts, she makes comments and all the rest of it, and I've spoke about it last week. I super appreciate people who do that, so I'm happy to check out anyone who's supporting the channel. Very, very cool, and she does a lot. Very, very nice. So this is the Rekkening, and their track is called Bulletproof. It's one of these kind of quarantine vids and whatever else. We've had quite a few of them on the show, so here's another one. Let's check them out. dirty. Got a nice guitar. Red and gold. Don't see that too often.
Getting in my face. I laugh in yours.
Drums sound cool as well. Now obviously what they've done with this is played along to a click and then mixed it together for the video. The dude's got his mask on, you can hear the bass. Tracy, she's got a nice raspy voice. I hope I don't offend her by saying it's a bit of a smoker's rasp. That's cool. That's a good, yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm a smoker myself, but I'm not saying that as a bad thing. It's just got that smoker's rasp though, you know, deep, bit gravelly for a woman. It's got a heaviness to it. Dope. Yeah, as I was saying, I've called today's bands old school, but they're all different. This band doesn't sound anything like the last band. But they've got an old school flavour to them. They've got an old school edge to them. They've got a punkness to them as well. That guitar is so dirty. I'm not sure what amp he's using there. Maybe one of those orange amps, but it's dark, it's dirty, it's breaking up distortion. Would be good for some doom as well. She's got an attitude. Bit of tapping as well. And you can hear the bass nicely underneath all of this. Now we can hear the cymbals nice, and they're nice and washy, but unfortunately the way that it's recorded, the kick and the snare, you know, they're not punching through. That's just because I guess he's only using one microphone. Oh no, he's got a couple of mics on the drums there by looks of things. But yeah, it'd be nice to get a proper recording out of these guys to hear their real sound. But this is basically a live performance, you know. This is a 2020 quarantine live performance, because they're all playing live, just not in the same room. Yeah, these guys have got a chuggy, deep, dirty guitar tone. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I'd like to hear these guys in the mix, in like a proper studio mix or whatever, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a fat low end once that guitar tone and the bass are meshed together properly in the mix, and we can hear the kick coming through and all of that stuff. Yeah, maybe some layering on the vocal just to make it extra thick and fat, because she's got quite a deep voice for a woman, and as I say, it's got that smoker's rasp to it, and I don't mean that in any offensive way. And if she doesn't smoke, and if she's totally anti-smoking, I apologise, but that's the sound I'm trying to describe. Very, very cool. Goes good with music. Now this next band, I think these guys have been in the queue for a while as well. I apologise. There was a couple I had like these guys, and then I was just waiting for another couple of bands so we could do a decent video. So I apologise if you've been in the queue for ages. My queue is now a month long, so anyone joining the queue now, they're right at the back. You know, it's like a big ass queue. But anyway, this band is called Stoned Ape Theory, and they've got the track for us. It's a lyric vid called Deep End. So let's check it out, finally. That's a nice bass sound as well. Go! Very crunchy guitars, crispy. Now this is a totally different sound to the last two bands that we've had, because those were live. My ears are just adjusted to an actual studio mix again. Good vocal. Building it up. Nice, that came in big. You can see it's nice and wide. Got a nice balanced stereo spectrum as well. Waveform, I should have said. Yeah, he's got a good strong voice. It's well recorded as well, so it sits in the mix nicely. Nice washy cymbals. Good drum sound. Nice panning on the drums so they ping pong across your ears on the toms. You can hear the bass in the mix as well, so yeah, ticked all the boxes for a nice mix. Yeah, cymbals come through nicely. I love it when drummers do a bit of a ting on the ride here and there. Just catches your ears, you just go, yeah, dope. Nice. Big chorus. He's got a nice rasp in his throat when he pushes it hard as well. It's got a bit of an old schoolness again to it, I would say. This chugginess, the energy in the music. So that's why I've bunched all these bands together. Totally different sounds to each one, but there's something within each band that you go, yeah, I recognise that as a bit of an old school flavour. Nice super wide washy cymbals make the sound just really wide. You can see it on the stereo spectrum, it's just as wide as it goes. Nice guitar layering as well. Good. You know, there's not a ton of... The guitars are nicely distorted, but they're not like ridiculously distorted to where you'd think they are. It's the guitars that are giving it the massive sound. It's not. It's actually the cymbals that are giving it the biggest, widest sound. The guitars are panned out nicely as well. Yeah, the cymbals, the washiness of the cymbals, just really filling out and giving it a kind of atmosphere and a width. That's why I love washy cymbals. I've probably gone on about washy cymbals a bit too much over these guys, but that was a very, very nice track. This one did sound modern in a lot of ways, but it also had the odd element in there, the odd edge, the odd flavour of some and that's pretty old school, you know. It's not brand new out the box to do that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think I'm doing all right in terms of calling these bands old school. They're not old school bands. But they've got a bit of an old school flavour to them in some way or the other. So there you go, that's what I'm doing. Now this band have been on the show before, Corrosive Sweden, pretty recently actually, and they got clumped in because I had the other kind of three bands that we've just had on together. And then I did the vid for these guys and they showed me another track. I thought, well, I'll dump it on with the other guys because these guys again have got a more of a heavy metal sound, bit old school in a way, but that kind of old school heavy excuse me, heavy metal, not black, not punk, none of that. So let's check it out. This one's called Fire from a Gun. Ooh. Can hear the bass nice. Good thick guitar tone. Raspy vocal. Nice punchy drums. Like that chugga chugga from the old school. That's what I'm talking about. Good washy cymbals filling out the high end. Yeah, good. And this guitar tone as well, that sounds pretty old school. It's got a Metallica vibe to it. That's why I've got my Metallica t-shirt on. Chugging. Good energy to the music as well, nice driving energy. Chugging. It's a thick, fat guitar tone, and they got the bass in there nicely as well. And then when this washy cymbal comes in, just fills out the high end. There it is. Looks like an expensive cymbal as well. Nice ride work as well. Here we go. Good guitar tones in this band. That's a nice guitar as well. These guys have definitely got a fat chug to them. Should get them on with that band chugger. Yeah, that big cymbal makes all the difference. Really opens up the sound. And then when he moves it onto the ride now, brings in a different vibe with a different guitar in as well. And then moving the energy about just from moving from one cymbal to the other. And just some nice little tings again on the ride. I always love that. If you're a band and you're watching this and you're thinking about making a submission, if your music has got a couple of ride tings in it, I'm gonna love it. I'm as easy as that to please sometimes. You just gotta go ting-de-ling-ding. Just make it catch your ear and I'll be like, yo, yeah, this band's good. It could be absolute garbage other than that. But if you just put the odd ring-to-ling-ting, I'll be like, yeah, this band's fucking awesome. Because I just love that shit. It just catches your ear. And it just makes you know that the drummer's thinking about what he's doing. He's not just a time machine, you know. He's not just like a kind of metronome to keep the rest of the band members in time. He's actually doing musical stuff with his drums and his cymbals and catching the listener's ear. That's what I love. That just shows me the drummers, you know, trying to take it to the next level and not just be a metronome for the band, which some drummers are, you know. Some drummers, they just kind of phone it in. Very, very nice bands today. None of these bands phoned it in, although they did webcam it in a couple of times as well. So I guess that's kind of similar. But yeah, good bands today. Bunch of different vibes. I called it old school purely because there's some element of old school in each of these sounds. But yeah, we've had black, we've had kind of heavy metal, we have had old school heavy metal, we've had more modern stuff but with an old school edge, we've had some great mixes, we've had some quarantine mixes, and we've had some live performances. So yeah, as I say, we've had a mixed bag, but we've kind of covered every aspect we can in this one, and I've gone on for far too long, 25 minutes. I don't know who's going to make it to the end. My average viewing time at the moment is about 5 minutes. So I've got to kind of get 5 times the amount of viewing time on this to get people to the end. But people do make it to the end. That's the average time. So yeah, already gone on way too much. What have I got for you tomorrow? No idea what I've got for you tomorrow. I haven't looked. So just tune in and find out with me as well what I've got. It's going to be good, whatever the case. I'm sorry for waffling on, guys. When I've said I'm going to stop waffling, it's gone on 25 minutes. That's the end of the video. So just come back tomorrow and see what I've got. Bye.